American-born Chinese. In the graphic novel American-born Chinese, Jing Wang intertwines three different storylines that connect together in the end. A myth of the Monkey King, the realistic everyday life of Jin Wang, and the funny yet uncomfortable story of Danny and Chinky. It explores how cultural identity is shaped by self acceptance, shame, and the desire to assimilate one's sense of self. Although these stories seem separate and each narrative contrasts in tone, style, and structure, they all reflect the internal conflict and the struggle between self acceptance and learning to accept who they are. Through the use of visual parallels, symbolic transformation, and contrasting narrative forms, Yang display a layered exploration on cultural identity. By merging the three storylines, Yang reveals what it means to belong and can only be found through self acceptance rather than pretending to be someone else. In chapter 1, the Monkey King story represents the pain of rejection and the urge to fit in. This shows in the dinner party scene on page 22, panel 1, where the guard stopped him from entering the dinner party because he simply said, "You haven't any shoes." Yang shows the Monkey King's humiliation in a dinner party, and it represents his exclusion because of his social status and appearance, and symbolizes exclusion based on his appearance and his social status. On page 22, panel 3, the guard's tone was polite when he asked the Monkey King to step aside. "Good for you, sir, good for you. Now, if you kindly step aside," this highlights the discrimination is frequently passed off as a respect. The Monkey King's growing rage and embarrassment are conveyed through his body language and his facial expressions. His tense fist and tense narrowed eyes stand in direct to the guard's calm, arrogant smile. Yang uses compositions of framing to show the Monkey King as small and powerless compared to the guard. The guard portrayed as taller on page 22, panel 3, page 23, panel 1, and page 23, panel 3, while the Monkey King is positioned to be visually excluded. The warm colors and the formal setting make his humiliation public, symbolizes his exclusion on appearance and race. On page 23, panel 4, the gods, goddesses, and the demons' laughter echoes behind the Monkey King's back, feeling more humiliated and embarrassed. Through these visual and written techniques, Yang shows that seeking acceptance by changing oneself leads to shame and isolation, reflecting the message about the pain of denying one's identity. This scene led him to change his inner self and physical appearance, which links these storylines together. Yang depicts the Monkey King's obsession with perfection as a metaphor for embodying his shame and the urge to transform his new identity. On page 61, panel 1, 2, and 3 shows him isolating himself in his cave, spending his days training and his nights meditating to achieve the four major disciplines of invulnerability and four major disciplines of bodily form. His new appearance was spotted with shoes on page 65, panel 1. He's no longer the Monkey King as we know from chapter 1, but with his new transformation, he called himself the great sage equal of heaven. Like the Monkey King, Jin Wang's story reflects Monkey King's struggle, showing the racism and the typical stereotypes pressured individuals to deny their cultural identity. On page 38, panel 2, Jin was mocked by a classmate when he commented, "My mama says Chinese people eat dogs." Later on page 39, panel 4, his classmates sneered at his lunch while Jin was seen eating dumplings, and one of them responded, "Stay away from my dog." Exposes everyday racism towards him, while the teacher's defense amusingly emphasized stereotypes. The framing and composition of the lunch scene shows Jin sitting alone at a long, empty table, emphasizing his solitude and social exclusion. The subtle background and the basic setting isolate him more while distancing himself from the other children laughing and playing. On page 36, panel 1, the herbalist's wife warns Jin that it's easy to become anything you wish, so as long as you're willing to forfeit your soul, implies the cost of Jin's assimilation and rejecting one's heritage. Through these visual and written techniques, Yang display how Jin's attempt to assimilate reflects the Monkey King's shame and transformation, both rejecting their true self and of belonging. In the walking scene, Jin developed a crush on Amelia and imagines himself with her, then sees her with a guy named Greg, and finally imagines himself with a different, more American hairstyle, which he believes will make him more popular, appealing, and help him to fit in. On page 101, panel 6, when Jin arrives at his house, the thought of the new hairstyle lingers over at his house, symbolizes his desire. Chinky's extravagant behavior and appearance reveal the destructive impact of the racial stereotypes. Chinky was greeted with "Haro America," exaggerates his accent, the traditional Chinese clothing, and the facial expression to reflect offensive descriptions of Asians in Western culture. In the library scene, Chinky dances and sings "She Bangs," making the people surround him uncomfortable and embarrassed. Reactions highlight how these stereotypes are socially awkward. Yang criticizes how racism reduces people to stereotype using humor and discomfort. and make the audience/readers recognize how racism alter identity and emphasize ignorance. When the stories of the Monkey King, Jinwang, and Chinky, and Danny eventually merge, Yang provides a powerful conclusion that combines with satire, realism, and myth into a single message of self-acceptance. The Monkey King reveals that he has been disguised as Chinky, freeing Jin from the hallucination that changing himself will earn his acceptance. The moment between fantasy and reality is symbolized by the gradual shift from the Monkey King's mythic tone into Jin's realistic world, which visually unifies the three storylines. In conclusion, Jin Wang combines myth, satire, and realism in American Born Chinese to explore identity and self acceptance. The Monkey King's pride, Jin Wang's assimilation, and Danny's confrontation with Jinky shows the same struggle with acceptance and self denial. Yang use of symbolism, narrative, contrast, and emotional depth allows reader to feel the pain of isolation and the strength in self-acceptance. The merge of the stories provide an emotional ending, showing that self-acceptance heals internal conflict and restores wholeness. Yang message to the readers is clear. True identity cannot be built through pretending to be someone, but through understanding who you are. Thank you.